In this Takomo golf bag, I have a set of 301 CBs and MBs, used by the likes of Grant Horvath, the Bryan Bros, but they was always known for being half the price of the premium brands. But I have a brand today that's even half price of a Takomo. Hey guys, we know that the Takomos work out at a fantastic price and is why they've pretty much dominated the YouTube market for the last couple of years, certainly since Grant Horvath and the Bryan Bros have become part owners. But today we're talking about a brand that is half price of that, because this area of the game, buying online, direct to consumer, there is so many options out there and it's a bit of a minefield. But these clubs right here have a lot of different options, a lot of different upgrades you can potentially do to them, but still come in even more affordable, under £500, which is pretty good value for money. That'll put me just in the rough, leaving myself a mid-iron. Let's see how they both compare for the price. And guys, if you are new to the channel, then welcome to this YouTube channel. If you want to hit that subscribe button and join us on the journey to 50,000, that will be fantastic. And guys, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, welcome back. So as I walk up this par 4 here at Lindrick Golf Club, we need to discuss, obviously, there are a lot of options now. Takomo, Caley, Kirkland, and this brand right here, oh, there's even McGregor, but also Ram. So Ram Golf has been on the channel for the last couple of weeks. We have tested the FX77 irons with mid-handicap Dave, even against those Takomo 101s, because price point is something that a lot of people got in the comments about. Golf's not getting any cheaper by any means, so can we still get performing irons at a reasonable price? And these irons start under £300, so very interesting from Ram that you can get these extremely affordable clubs. For me, they look fantastic, but let's see how they perform out here today. So first of all, it's a mid-iron, and as always, Lindrick looking in fantastic condition, striped up here in February. Just had some coring on the fairways, but a good surface, but unfortunately I'm over there towards that gauze. So mid-iron straight here, and we do have the copper versions of those Takomo, so the next 100 series clubs, but we have an 8-iron. So an 8-iron here, and it is an MB here, so we do have a CB-MB combo. We do just have CBs through the bag with the Ram clubs, the Axials. Let's see what we get from this. We know how these have performed all year. Exactly what you expect, a nice high launch, good feel off the face and up onto that putting surface. So doing exactly what I expect from these. And again, these are now close to that £600 to £700 range, which so are a few other brands. Let's now talk about the RAM AXIEL or Axial clubs. So again, for me, brand new out of the packet and look absolutely fantastic. Bottom edge, very similar to the Takomo's a CB. We've got a little bit of chamfering on that front edge, and if I now put that behind the golf ball, again, straight away, they do look a little bit bigger than the MB, but they're not far off the CB, which we'll compare shortly in the longer irons. But fantastically priced here, and one big thing for me is options. So options with shaft. They do have a lot of options that you'll see on screen now. You can choose from an array of shafts. Again, grip wise, you can also custom that, which maybe obviously for the price is a little bit better than Takomo. We know Takomo, you're going to get premium shafts, premium components in the KBS and Lampkin grips, but have they got as much option as Ram? Potentially not, but straight away look fantastic, and this is the first shot. And they feel exceptionally good. A lower launch there, and again, straight onto the green just left of the flag, so it's the closer of the two, and that was actually a little bit towards the toe, as we can see there. So again, not a perfect strike in the middle, a little towards the toe, still felt fantastic, distance pretty good. Let's get up there. Now, one thing we do know is with Takomo, I've certainly done a lot of testing, James Robinson has, and many more like the Grant Horvaths and your Bryan Bros. So they are getting the tour validation, they are performing just as well as any other irons from your premium brands in my eyes. So they've got a great reputation. Everybody knows them now. They are around, they are getting on tour, they are getting to the everyday golfer, they are getting to your single figure golfers, your beginner golfers. So they have certainly took the market with, again, a premium product at an affordable price. Will Ram get up there? Because Ram's obviously been known for, has been on tour many years ago, but it seems to have fallen off the face of the earth. We haven't heard or seen of it for many years. They have brought out some very different looking clubs, which I'll put on there, which are great for certain golfers, and again, price point, they are good for certain golfers. But these now, for me, first shot, it's pretty close, which I'll show you shortly, are performing well. So how will they do throughout the rest of the bag? And you'll see here distance exactly the same. The misstruck Ram club is up there on this fantastically striped up green here at Lindrick. But also, again, we know what we're getting from the Takomo. It's landed, had a little bit of spin back, so we know the control we're getting. Are we going to get the same consistency from these Ram clubs? And here we have a fantastic par 3 here, 175 yards, so it's the perfect distance for those 6 irons. How do they compare? And again, one thing I thought I would never say is how good these Ram clubs look, but you can see obviously head size does seem to be a little bit bigger than these Takomo CBs. If we look at the bottom, again, we've got a slightly thicker sole there on that Ram 6 iron, so again, starting to maybe get a little bit more forgiveness, and again, maybe they're not as refined as those CBs, but these are coming at £399, and that's for the 5 to pitching wedge, which is the set that I have. So 5 to pitching wedge, and again, £399. We know with the Takomos you are getting a 4 to pitching wedge, so again, probably if we had a 4 iron in this Ram, you might be looking at, again, £450 potentially, so £200 cheaper. We've got the KBS shafts in these irons, so the same shafts we have in the Takomos. We have a Lambkin grip on there. Behind the ball, they look fantastic. And a nice penetrating ball flight there, just on the right edge of the green, and just ran off. So again, that's more me, but a nice penetrating ball flight, nice and easy to hit. One thing for me, we've got a white line at the bottom of that. Would it look a little bit nicer without it? Again, that's being picky, but sits fantastic behind the golf ball. And if I did a blind test with these clubs, from that position there, I do certainly need to give it a clean, that could be any club. I wouldn't think that people would guess that. They could easily say, is that a TaylorMade? Is that a Titleist? Is that a Takomo? Again, they've got a lot of things right from Ram, which is certainly not something I would say, but let's test that Takomo. But the big question is, obviously, would you go £650 for these Takomos? Would you go £400 for those Rams? Or would you go and buy a second hand set? Would you go online? Would you go to golf clubs for cash and maybe get a couple of years old Titleist or TaylorMade or even Callaway? Because that's the big question here. Everybody wants cheaper clubs, but what do you want? Do you want brand new clubs and you go for a company like Ram, which again, most people will say, maybe a little bit of snobbery, I don't really want Rams in my bag, I'd rather have a couple-year-old set of Callaways. But why? Because those have performed exceptionally well. They look fantastic, they certainly feel fantastic, and so have these Takomos. You can see there a nice towering ball flight, a better strike than the Ram, but distance looks exactly the same. Let's jump inside now and let's see, because one big thing we get asked about, will we get consistency front to back? If I hit 5-6 irons into the green on the simulator, will it perform just as well with both of these, or might I get a few funny numbers with the cheaper clubs? Okay, so inside I'm going to start with the Ram clubs. So we know obviously technology wise what we're exactly getting from these. We do have perimeter weighting, we do have that forgiveness, but how will these do in here? Obviously what I want to see is consistent front to back dispersion, but also potentially flight. Is flight going to be similar every single time? I'm going to try and put the same swing on it every single time as we always do, but will we get a lot of deviation there? I've got it set at 180, which is a standard 6 iron. And again, that was a toey strike there, a little bit low, a little bit turned over, 170, going 185. So again, for a poor strike down at 4,000 spin, I would say that has done exactly what I'd expect from a perimeter weighted club. Again, a little bit of forgiveness there. So let's go again. Better strike there, drawing a little bit. Let's see, looks to be long. Okay, carrying 188, going 197, down at 4,000 spins. So again, a lot of people will say, well, that's good, but if that goes a little bit too far, then potentially I'm going to have a big gap at the bottom end of the bag. We know the lofts are slightly stronger than those Takomos. I mean, it's me taking the ball left. I can't blame the clubs there, but 185 going 195. So again, for me, spin down, exactly what I'd expect. Slightly stronger lofts, a little bit turned over. Not the best for hitting the greens, but again, consistency, obviously with the total distance. So a better swing there, a better launch. What will that do? Again, stopping quick. I like the consistency there of a well-struck one. Yes, that was a little bit higher just because I didn't turn it over. Still gone 186 carry, going 194. So stopping quick enough, you would say. It'd be very interesting to see that Takomo. So we will go one more shot now. Let's see. And again, there, spin 4,600. And that was, for me, probably from the best strike. So I'd still certainly say on the low side. Well, I have left the face open there, up to 5,700. But consistency, can't blame the clubs for direction for myself, maybe not swinging it the best this morning, but extremely good consistency front to back. Certainly the flight is vary because of myself. We've got that up to 5,700, but I've had to leave it open. It's missed the green, so maybe not as consistent as this club here. And again, one thing I've come to like with these, I have used them for the last year. We know exactly what kind of distance we are getting, what kind of flight we are getting. So this is where, for me, again, these weren't fitted as such. They're just put into standard specs, so standard loft and lie. We've got the KBS Tour 120 stiff shaft in there. We've got the Lampkin grip on there. So again, premium components. But like we've said, £300 more potentially than those Rams, or at least 250 depending on the shafts. Straight away there, the flight that I've come to expect out on the golf course. And interesting there, 176. I said this was my 180 club, going 181. Straight away there from a good strike, we're up to 5,700. So I've not had to try and keep the face open there. A nice tower in flight. We're up at just under 6,000, which is what I would expect. I'd expect with a 6-iron to be between 5,000 and 6,000. So let's go 4 more. Didn't feel that was the best swing, but straight away there, I've got that forgiveness. 180 carry going 186, so a little bit down on the spin. So there, it's carried that little bit further. So again, very interesting there. 2 pretty much identical flights, pretty close in distance, and obviously front to back, but more importantly, towards the flag. Carbon copy again for the flight, 5,800, good strike. And so far, all of those have been inside tour average. So for me there, it's come to be, again, what I would expect. Obviously, it's about using these clubs. And I've used these clubs now for well over a year. I know, obviously, my numbers. Maybe if I use the Ram clubs for a year, I'll be able to get a better understanding of the distance. I might know that my 7-iron actually is a little bit stronger. It's more like the 6. And that might be the club that I use from this distance. But I feel like I'm not swinging it much different. And the results are quite clear here, to say the least. Right, there's one slightly turned over like I did get with the Ram. Carried 180, still gone 186. So even that one I turn over a little bit, that's more me than the club, obviously. I've still not got that one that's flown a little bit longer. So yes, we could be saying that the 7-iron's a little bit closer to this, but certainly getting great consistency, and why a lot of golfers, including your Grant Horvitts, your Brian Bros, are all using these clubs right here. So they are getting the performance that they need. Okay, extremely off the bottom there. Let's see how that does. 177, running out 10 yards from probably the bottom groove. So very interesting there, guys. Obviously Takomo certainly performing how I expected. Maybe it's just I need more shots with those Rams. They look fantastic. Let's get back outside. Now finally, let's talk about this club. So it's a club that's often overlooked in the pitching wedge, and it's something for me that needs to be discussed, because how many times we see when we go to these more affordable clubs, these direct-to-consumer clubs, that they quickly become extremely stronger lofters, so we're not able then to control them. And for me, it's all about, can we hit this shot here? So a pitching wedge for me can go 130 yards. That's simply just because of speed and way the potentially I compress the golf ball. But I also like to use it, like you'll see in previous videos, from maybe 60 yards to play a nice shorter chip shot, or from this distance 100 yards. Instead of hitting a 56 or a 52 full speed here, can I flight one in? Can I get a little bit of control? And this certainly down behind the golf ball now, in compared to the MB from Takomo, does look to have a little bit more offset. It'd be very interesting to test this against a full set of CBs. We might have to steal bobbies from him when he's not playing. So let's see how we can do with this one. And you can flight that down. You can see a nice penetrating ball flight there. Let's see the spin. Little bit of grab on that second bounce. But that's the flight I like to see. I've not had to do much work there. I've not had to try and help the ball in the air. And that's gone, again, into this little bit of breeze. It's gone straight through that. We know with the Takomo, we've played many a course where it's been windy. We've played plenty of links golf. But this pitching wedge, we know it's a relatively weaker pitching wedge than some of the lofts, because it is an MB after all. It's not like the 101T. It's not like a P770. It's not going to be stronger lofted. But what I like to see here is that we've played links golf, we've played all sorts of golf, all different conditions, and we've been able to control the flight with these. But again, price point difference wise, guys, £200. Get in those comments. Do you want to see more stuff around Ram, because they have a driver which I'm trying to get hold of, because that's £150, looks fantastic, just like these irons looks fantastic, but will it perform as well as the irons? Because again, are we starting to lose off-centered hits, lose a little bit of consistency? Because even though you might be saving money with Ram, are we going to see that drop? We didn't inside, but it'd be interesting over a course of a season, are we going to see that? Exactly the same trajectory right there, and stopped a little bit quicker. So interesting there, guys. Did it stop a little bit quicker with that pitching wedge? I would say yes. So it'll be very interesting to get down there, see which is the closest, because I think the distance control wise was pretty good, but this one had a little bit more spin. The £200 difference, is it worth it or is it not? Or do I just need to practice a little bit more with those different lofts?